Hi, welcome again and thanks for joining me for this week's yoga class. Today we're going to run through a little routine that will help you get going in the mornings if you're a slow starter like me. So first, come onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees wider than the mat or just as wide and let yourself fall forward into your child's pose. I want you to try and keep your arms somewhat active during this child's pose. So bring your forearms away from the floor, maybe even tent your hands, come up onto your fingertips, engaging your shoulders down your back. If you came onto your fingertips, let your palms fall flat onto the floor and start to walk your arms over to the right side, stretching out through the left ribs. Take your right hand and place it on top of the left, interlocking the fingers. Use your right hand to pull your left further away from the side of the body, elongating your side ribs and your waist. Release that hold and come back to the middle, back to your child's pose, and immediately start to walk it over to the left hand side. Taking your left hand on top of your right, interlocking your fingers and stretching out the right ribs and the right waist, creating a really lovely long line of energy throughout the body. Start to walk your fingers back to center and slowly come up onto your hands and knees. Now we're going to work on warming up through the wrists and shoulders. So turn your hands 180 degrees and bring your hands underneath your shoulders. If this is too difficult, just turn your hands to whatever degree that you're able to relax into. On an inhale, come into cow pose, arching the back, bringing your head up, and on an exhale, push through your hands and your knees and round your back into cat pose. Repeat cat-cow for a few breaths, going as slow or fast as feels good in your body. You can bend your elbows slightly back towards you if this feels good, otherwise keep the arms semi-straight. Start to release the hands. You might want to shake out through your wrists if that was tough on your joints. Walk the hands forward to the top edges of the mat, knees underneath the hips, and start to release down into your puppy pose, keeping the upper body active, pushing through the hands and letting either your forehead or your chin come towards the floor. Your glutes should be the highest part of your body. On your next inhale, come back up to hands and knees. With your hands directly under your shoulders and your left knee directly under your left hip, start to straighten out the right leg. Bring it towards the side of your body in line with your hip and your foot on the floor. Try to make the leg as straight as possible. Keep the back toes curled under and push back with the hands, sitting back onto the foot. As you come back, turn your right foot up towards the sky, and as you inhale, come forward again, releasing. Exhale, push back. Inhale, release. You can do this as slowly as quickly as you like. Slow intentional movement can be really good for meditative states, especially when you're struggling to get going in the morning. If it's available to you, come down onto your forearms and clasp your hands together, relaxing down into the pose, flexing the right foot strongly. Breathe deeply. On your next inhale, release out of the pose, bringing your knee back underneath you and your hands underneath your shoulders into tabletop pose. Start to revolve your body in a circular cat-cow motion, going in an anti-clockwise direction, stretching out every vertebrae of the spine, really rounding and arching your back. Repeat it on the other side, bringing your left leg out to the side straight in line with your hips, your foot on the floor and your right toes tucked under. Inhale and on an exhale push back. up, and exhale, push back, rotating your left toes up to the ceiling with your backward motion. On your next exhale, hold the position, coming down onto your forearms if you choose, and clasping your hands. Start to bring yourself back up, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, and come back into your circular cat-cow, this time revolving in a clockwise direction, hammocking your stomach to the floor, and then pushing through your hands to round the upper back. Make these movements as big as possible. Your aim here is to try and get the whole body warm. Come back onto your hands and knees. You may want to shuffle forward on the mat. Tuck your toes under and come into your first down dog, keeping your legs slightly bent and stepping through the feet, treading through the heels, just releasing out through the hips, through the neck and the head. Stay like this, or start to straighten your right leg up towards the sky, really lengthening through the toes, pointing and flexing. Bend the right knee and come into an open hip downward dog. You can circle through the foot, just releasing any cracks, any pops through the ankle. Push strongly through the hands and pull up through the shoulders. Start to bring the leg up, square off your hips and bring your foot back down to the floor. On your next inhale, start to bring your left leg into the air, pointing strongly through the feet, pointing and flexing. And then bend the leg behind you in your open hip pose, really stretching out through the hip flexor, the psoas, even through the core. Be mindful to try and keep your shoulders on the same plane. Don't let that left shoulder pop out of place. Really try and square your chest to the floor. Straighten that left leg, square the hips and bring the foot back to the floor. Look forward and start to gently tiptoe to the front of the mat. Stopping in a forward fold. Hold on to opposite elbows. Relax your neck and head. Have a slight bend in the knees and just rock from side to side. If you're doing this in the morning, you may feel slightly tight anyway, so just be kind to your body. Give it what it needs. We are not striving today for the biggest, deepest stretch that you can do. Start to bend the legs and ragdoll roll yourself up to a standing position. Clasp the hands behind the back. If you can't grip the hands, get a strap or a towel or a tea towel. Start to open your chest towards the ceiling in a mini back bend. Push the fists away from the body and over to the left hand side, keeping your gaze down towards the right. Come back through to center, change the crossing of the fingers. Inhale, open the chest up to the sky, and then exhale, twist to the left, bringing your hands to the right. Release the hands and come to clasp them on the nape of your neck. Exhale into a forward fold, starting to bend your knees as you come down. Coming into a deep squat and lifting up your chest, coming into a modified chair pose. Inhale, twist to the left, come back to center, and exhale to the right, and back to center. Repeat this a few times on each side, breathing in a rhythm that feels good to your body, trying to sit as low as you can while keeping good form. Release the hands and stretch them up by your ears. Exhale and come into a forward fold. Inhale, look out to your flat back. And exhale, bend your knees and step back into a low lunge. Keep your right foot towards your right hand and release your left toes to the floor. You can use blocks here if that helps you. Otherwise let your hips be very heavy and opening your chest. Start to bring your hands to your lower thigh, interlocking your fingers and using that pressure to move your chest away from the leg. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, ease out of the lunge slightly. Inhale back down. Exhale, release. Inhale back down. Exhale, release. Inhale, lower. And this time we're going to hold it in that lunge position. Start to raise your arms up towards the sky, again keeping your hips low and heavy, stretching through the spine. Bring the hands together and lean over to the right. You might feel a bit unstable, that's absolutely fine. If you fall, just get up and start again. Inhale back up towards centre. With your hands still above your head, start to straighten out through that front leg. You can wiggle your toes forward, come onto your heel and flex your foot deeply. Inhale and pull your hands up towards the sky, creating length through your torso. On your next exhale, start to come forward into a small forward fold. This will probably feel very unstable, so just come as low as you can without falling over, lifting back up and lowering back down. Bring your hands back down to either side of your front leg. Remember, if this is uncomfortable or inaccessible for you, you can use blocks or any other props you have to hand. Come back into a lunge position. Tuck under your back toes and lift the back knee. Keeping your left hand on the floor or on a block, start to open your right hand up towards the sky, making sure your right hip isn't jutting out too far. Try and keep it in line with your hips and spin your chest up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands back down and step forward into a forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees deeply and bring your hands back up into your chair pose, maybe arching your back slightly more than usual, stretching through the chest and clasping your hands behind your back, opening up through your collarbones. Exhale, start to roll back down into your forward fold, keeping a slight bend through the knees. Stretch the arms over your head before releasing the hands down to the floor. Inhale, look out towards your flat back, and exhale, start to step back into your lunge. This time bringing your right leg back, dropping the knee to the floor, releasing the foot, letting your hips descend forward and down while opening your chest towards the sky. Clasping your fingers and bringing them again to the lower thigh, using them as a lever to push your torso away from your thigh. As you inhale, back off slightly, and as you exhale, come back down into your lunge. Repeat this a few times at your own pace, first releasing the tension and then increasing the tension. Next time you come down, hold this position and start to bring your arms up towards the sky, clasping your fingers if that's available to you. Otherwise, you can keep your hands at shoulder width. Exhale, deepen your lunge and start to sway over to the left-hand side. Come back up to centre and lengthen the torso, releasing out of your lunge and starting to straighten through the left leg. just inching your toes forward and flexing your foot so your toes are pointing up towards the sky. Keep lengthening towards the sky before you inhale and start to fold down towards the straight leg. You may find one side slightly easier than the other. That's perfectly normal, we all have imbalances. Come back up and lower down. Back up straight and exhale lower. Bring your hands to either side of the straight leg or to blocks and relax in runner's lunge. Come back towards your lunge position, lifting your back knee off the floor, right hand on the floor, and open your left arm up towards, being mindful to keep your hips even, opening your chest, spiraling your spine, looking up towards that top hand. Bring your hand back down to the floor and step forward again into your forward fold. Stretch your chest forward, looking to your flat back. Exhale, fold, and inhale, step into a plank position. If it's comfortable for you, come down onto your forearms into a forearm plank, keeping your hips tucked, your neck straight and not crunched. Move forward onto your tiptoes and start to roll side to side, doing oblique dips. Roll onto the outside of your feet, dipping your hip down towards the mat, and come back to center. This is really intense work for your core and your obliques, so if at any time you feel like you need to come into child's pose or just rest down on the floor, please feel free. Long exhale and lower yourself down all the way onto the floor. Elbows underneath your shoulders, feet released, coming into Sphinx pose. So you want to unshrug your shoulders, tuck your hips and lift through your chest, opening your chest and collarbones forward. Start to roll your chin down to your chest and very slowly roll your head over to the right hand side and then the left, just releasing tension through your traps and through your neck. Exhale and lower all the way down onto the floor, lengthening your arms out in front of you. Turn your hands on their sides with your thumbs facing upwards, and on an inhale you want to start raising your thumbs towards the sky along with your head and followed by your feet, and come into locust pose. Exhale, lower back down to the floor. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and come back onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees together and sit back into a traditional child's pose, with your arms resting on either side of the floor next to your body. Forehead resting on the floor or on a block or blanket. Slowly start to roll up into a seated position. Make your way to a comfortable seated position, letting your left leg straighten out in front of you and crossing your right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Flexing through your foot, stretch your left arm up towards the sky and rotate, hooking your elbow onto your knee. If this is inaccessible or just feels really uncomfortable, you can just hook the knee on the inside of the elbow. Use the hand behind your back to strengthen your spine. Exhale, start to come back to center, uncross the legs and repeat on the other side. Left foot to the outside of the right thigh, right hand up towards the sky and hook or tuck into your elbow. Inhale to straighten and exhale to twist further. Release and let your legs straighten out in front of you. Inhale your arms up towards the sky and start a really gentle roll forward. Don't worry if your back rounds slightly, we're going for more of a yin style end here. So just let yourself round forward, letting gravity pull through your spine. Let your head release last. Inhale, come back up to seated and just shake out through the knees. Well done. I hope you feel a lot more energized. Now we're just going to do a brief Shavasana. As always, I would encourage you to stay in Shavasana for at least 5 to 10 minutes. If, however, you only have the 20-minute window, we're just past that now, so feel free to turn this off. Otherwise, relax into the floor, let go of the deep breathing, and feel the support of the earth beneath you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Please like and subscribe for more content.